Studio Blynne, and I have been meaning to get on and do on Tuesdays the little tea ritual. And so tonight on the full moon, um, I'm making it happen. So it's late and I'm sleepy, and this is often what happens when I do an evening little tea ceremony. I keep it short and sweet. So I'll invite you to join me for a little cup of tea. I'm here, I've got my puppies with me, and um, I've got, I'm sitting inside at my altar. I've got my tea blend, which I'll explain in a little bit. I've chosen mugwort and blue lotus, and then a few roses. I've been adding roses in lately. I'm working on just opening up that heart center and really being willing to release and receive um, all the love and share all the love that is so necessary right now. So the first thing I usually do, this is actually a new sage to me. My husband got it for me. It's a white sage dipped in, I think it's called dragon's blood resin. And it's just a great protection. And so I often, let's see, I haven't done this live, so I'm not really sure where to even set this. So let me see. Um, so first thing I always do, it's just habit. I'll call the corners often just to clear the space. And then um, I'll also, I also often stand to do this, but I am so tired tonight. I am going to stay seated and I just do a little cleansing. I always make sure a window is open with sage, just to let all of the energy that it's clearing remove itself from the space. So I am going to do that right now because my window is closed. And while I'm standing, I just go ahead and I clear the space and I give thanks to the east and the element of air, and to the south and the element of fire, and to the west, the element of water, and to the north, the element of earth. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some water on my tea blend, and every tea is a little different. This is an herbal blend, so I want to start the water now steeping this tea of mugwort and blue lotus so it has a little bit longer. So I don't know if you can see this. I'll work on my lighting. But I have my little teapot. I like to keep this on the ground. This is my notes. And then I have a little special herbal deck that I like. So this is the blend. I don't know if you can see any of this. And so I pour it in. I give thanks to these beautiful herbs. And then I'll go ahead, pour the water, and let it steep. And while I do that, I go ahead and I light. I always start by lighting a candle for Mama Earth and give thanks for her unconditional love and teaching us about this place of holding and strength and courage to continue loving all of us and the connection we all share together. This was a sweet candle given to me by a dear friend. Sula at the Munaya Resort, and so I light this candle in honor of her and our friendship. And then I have this candle back here that tonight I have a friend who is going through some difficult times with family who is sick. And so I like to light a candle in honor of him and his family, and to just show my love and light in this way. So I light this candle here for you, Mike, and your family. And I just love taking a moment to sit and soak in the altar. I think it's really peaceful. Like I said, I'm very tired. I've had a long day. But when I sit here and see each of these pieces mean a lot to me. They're not random. Each was gifted to me. It has a story. And yeah, it's really important. Right here I offer different oils, and so I place that on my spoon. This little frog is my spirit pet of the moment with tea, and he sits here and joins me. So these are all just beautiful pieces that down the road, as we do more of these, I will share with you what each of them represents to me. So I also like to light a little Palo Santo to give thanks. Again, I'm gonna just try to figure out where to put this stuff. Let's see. Okay. Doop-a-doo. It's gonna tip over. Okay. Again, you want to make sure it's sustainably sourced. I always get it from local shops that I trust are reliable for things like Palo Santo and sage. So I always start by just giving thanks to the gods and goddesses and to the ascended masters, Isis and Hathor, Green Tara, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Kuan Yin, and the Great White Buffalo Woman. I give thanks to all the angels and archangels, to my guides, and to the fairies and gnomes, the flora and the fauna, to all of my ancestors and my past lives. I give thanks to my grandmothers, to Mare and the Jeans and Sybil. I give thanks to my dogs, Callie and Annabelle, who have transitioned. I give thanks to my friends who have moved on. I give thanks to my father. I feel his presence always near me. I give thanks to you, Caleb, for always watching over and protecting my family. And so after this, I set it in its little dish, which I just love ceramics, you guys. It just makes me so happy. These are all little dishes that are just so sweet and unique for altar work. And now I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. And we'll do longer ones, but I am very tired. I've been up. I tried to catch the blood moon this morning, and it was cloudy, and I didn't think I'd wake up because I went to bed pretty late, and so I kept getting up at like 3 and 4 and 4:30, and so I'm tired. But I did write a little a little bit about, I really like to think of the teas as friends, and the plants are friends. They offer us their medicine. They offer us um, friendship, really. I mean, without them, we wouldn't exist. We wouldn't survive. So I think we should give them a little respect, and a lot, not a little. Um, and so I've just been seeing these characters as I've been learning and drinking these teas, and so for mugwort, I think of her as the moonlit seer. I think of her as a wild, gray-haired mystic. And I wrote a little bit, so I'll read. She is the dream keeper who walks between the worlds without permission, whispering in symbols. She is slightly wild and honest in a way that stings but is healing. She is a quiet observer, telling us to trust what we already know. The veil is thin because you are ready. And mugwort has been one of my favorite herbs for dream work. I like to call on her when I really am missing my dad, and I'm asking for him to come share with me. Often I seek him when I'm feeling like I need, he was my teddy bear. Comfort. He he'd answer questions without answering questions, and so why I think mugwort responds in symbols is because that's often how it works in dreams. And the symbols that show up for me in these dreams with mugwort are often symbols that I know are my dad, and they make sense to me. And so, yeah, I find mugwort really is a beautiful dream herb. And blue lotus is this velvety blue flower, and she's more relaxed. She is going to be that friend on the pillows with her silk scarves, and she's, you know, she's a low voice, low honey voice, and yeah, she also comes in dreams, but they're more dreamlike. If I mean that's not a very good description, but it's like the I see my dreams in veils or with more clouds, or she's interprets them a little differently. It's hard to describe, and that's why I write these things down, because every time I invite these herbs into my dreams and into my life, they appear in really beautiful, unique ways. And so for blue lotus, I think of her as the velvet priestess, and she reclines rather than stands. Her voice is low and slow like honey. She is a sensual mystic who opens the heart through pleasure, not force. She is dreamy, she is devotional, and she is ancient in a soft way. She reminds us to close our eyes and to breathe deeper, and to remember that surrender is a sacred art. And so with those two, and I also add Rose in, and that is a personal, she is her own sweet character to me, that I'll elaborate on more. But for now, it was really, this blend is about the mugwort and the blue lotus. And so now what I'll do is I take the tea. I start by always pouring for spirit and for my family who have transitioned. I've been working with Green Tara, who is this wonderful deity, and so I also like to pour some tea for Green Tara. And then I pour the tea for me. Every cup that I bring is handmade and has meaning behind it. It's very intuitive what I bring to ceremony, and this little baby has been calling to me. So she's made of a light clay and has these cookies and cream bursts inside. And so with the tea, I like to take a moment to just incorporate the senses. What do I see? I see this beautiful cup that actually, when I first brought her out of the kiln, it was not what I expected with glaze, and she's grown on me. And I really have learned to love this muted color that came out and the difference and the rough edges on the top. And then I like to listen to the sounds. Right now, I hear my kids still up, which is making me giggle. My husband's helping this evening, and it's 10 o'clock. On mama time, they're usually in bed by 7. So that's the beauty of, I just let that go. I surrender to each of us have our way of dealing and parenting, and we come together on the things that matter. And so I listen, I smell, I listen with my nose. And really, the rose is coming through right now for me. I love to feel the cup, my hands, and then to taste the tea. Mugwort has a very distinct bitter flavor. And Blue Lotus reminds me of the flavor of purple. And I don't even know how to describe it. It's like butterfly, pea flowers taste the same way to me. I'll get better at this description. mm. I'll also figure out the camera thing because I love holding my cuppy with my 2 hands. And I often do 3 pours. It was how I was taught. And each round has a different flavor to it. It's about taking the time to sit with the tea that's important and really respecting that you've taken this moment to sit with yourself and to sit with your ancestors and to give thanks to these beautiful herbs and set some intentions into what you are asking for. And on this Virgo full moon, my mantra all day has been, I'm Virgo rising. And so I relate to some of these Virgo qualities of perfectionism, and I like order. But this mantra that has been going through is that you are enough. And just hearing that over and over is like, it seems so simple, but what does that mean? What does that mean to be enough? Are we ever not doing something to attain something else? What is your enough? And so I've been sitting with that today. And so I go, I'll pour more for the ancestors and more for green Tara and another round for me. And this time the mugwort is really shining through now. I cannot recommend this blend. Blue lotus and mugwort. I sprinkle in the roses. It's in honor of my family. We've been doing some big healing together, and I always put in a rose for each of the people in my family, that our hearts can grow and be open to each other. I also love the tiny cups. I think they're perfect for ritual and ceremony. You know, when I'm sitting in these moments, and particularly when I'm in a hurry because I don't have a lot of time, um, they just really, it's this sweet, sacred amount that's just enough. Just like, it's enough. Um, and yeah, there's something that just feels so nice about honoring this small amount of tea and really taking in and embracing and getting to know the tea, not because you're drinking tons of it, but because you're sitting with this small amount and really getting to know it on a deeper level. And I love a giant cup of tea or coffee also, but for ritual, you'll often find me with one of these little guys. And so I do it for the third round. And I always pour for the ancestors and give thanks to those here that have joined us. I know my dad and grandma are often here during ceremony, and I like to give a little nod to them and to Green Tara, this swift compassion that she shares. I've got so many sessions, and then I pour a cup for me. And also thank you to all of my friends out there who have purchased the Mudir tea kits. And thank you for your patience with my live Tuesday tea time. I have been really working hard to get there's a lot of moving pieces in my business and as a full-time mom and wife and all the things. And so now it will be consistently Tuesdays. No specific time yet. But yeah, I would love for anyone, even if you don't have one of my tea sets yet, come have a cup of tea with me. I would love that. So, thank you. This blend just gets me ready for the dream world. I often can recall a lot more clear the dreams also. And I'm telling you, this combo, these women work together in this dream world to really help to open me up to receive um, messages through my dreams. I think it's a big part of our life that we don't give enough time for credit to just how often we're in that space in the evening when we're sleeping. It is a reality. It exists. And I think it's a very thin veil and a big opportunity for those who have transitioned or who have ascended or are out in the ethers to connect with us and talk, because we let our ego down. We let the part of us that exists for, I'm sure, survival reasons, and um, it's part of this human experience. But I've really um, embraced the dream realm. My husband is still really big into it, and years ago introduced me to just the beauty behind it. So that is the basics of sitting. I often take a minute to, or not a minute, I mean, often I do a full meditation. And I did my little meditation earlier. And so tonight, this is my meditation, my tea, and sitting with you at the altar. I do have a really fun oracle deck that I'm a fan of with the herbs. And so to close tonight, I'd like to pull a card and see what this Virgo full moon has to say, or what herb to call on for the next couple weeks. I believe we're moving into a Pisces new moon, and I'm a Pisces. I just had my birthday I'm so tired, on Saturday, February 28th, and I just love, whenever I hear anything Pisces, the Pisces in me gets excited. So yeah, let's see and when we go from the full to the new moon, the moon is getting smaller, and so we think of things to let go of. So we're not asking for an abundance of things. It's more of, now that this, whatever we've been trying to culminate to the full moon has come to fruition, now how can we let that settle in and receive in a more aggressive's not the right word, but passive way. It's not quite sitting right with me either. And I don't think the words are gonna come, so I'm gonna remind myself I'm enough. I'm tired, and I'm also really, really grateful to be here. So I have got my cards. Okay. And I pulled Sage, which is the blessing. And I will read this card. These cards, it's called Herbal Astrology by Adriana Ayales. And it's wonderful. I've really enjoyed it. It really she knows the herbs, and it makes me feel like I can connect deeper. And it talks about the planets, which I'm very interested in, and which is really beautiful. The last card I got was Ashwagandha, and that is a moon, herbs of the lunar nodes. And this one that I just received is herbs of the moon. And sage is the blessing. It's a blessing, a purification, invocation, sacred gift, spiritual cleansing, reassembling emotional body and mystical sight. It represents the moon and Jupiter. The genus name Salvia comes from Latin, meaning to save, an apt name for this powerful and protective herb. Various species of sage can be found throughout the world, and this card embodies the spirit of this precious and ancient plant. First Nations peoples and Native Americans have used sage ceremonial for thousands of years for inner and outer purification. Sage is regarded as a panacea and employed as a medicine to heal against many ills. It's also used as an offering in sweat lodges, wrapped around sacred objects, and placed in medicine pouches. And sage is one of the primary herbs for smudging. Smudging is a sacred ritual practiced among Native Americans. It is similar to the smoke practiced in Central South American traditions, where smoke is brushed along the body with hands, feathers, or ritual objects to bless, purify, and invoke ancestral spirits. This is actually a long one, you guys, so I'm not gonna continue on. If you'd like to read more, though, I would recommend picking up this deck of cards. They're just sweet. It's a pocket, they're tiny. And it's a really wonderful little thing to add to your arsenal of ritual tools. But so on that note, I want to say goodnight and wish you all a beautiful evening. And next Tuesday, we'll be here to join in some tea. I'll have a new blend, or maybe it'll be the same one. It's pretty intuitive for me what herbs are calling to me. So I hope you've had a wonderful day and are able to get some deep breaths in. This path, this being able to take a moment for ourselves to reflect and embrace all the good things and the joy, and it helps me to carry me through the chaos of the world at large, and it reminds me that healers are here to share their gifts when things like the atrocities going on in the world right now. And so everybody in this world has their strengths on how we will overcome everything going on. And there are people that are built of different strengths, and everyone will go at this in their own way. And I see myself as more of a healer. I'm here to help us to alchemize all of this pain so that we can move forward once everything has come to fruition and rebuild into this beautiful, beautiful world that our Mama Earth has provided. I mean, it's incredible. So these are different thoughts on my mind. And I am now going to go to sleep. I like to blow all of my candles out. I learned once that candles don't particularly like being blown out, that they would prefer to be snuffed. And I always burn my fingers, so I don't do that, and I blow the candles out. And I like to see the smoke go up. Okay, now I'm rambling. I hope you're having a lovely evening and have gotten done something that brings you joy today. Okay. I will see you guys next Tuesday for another tea time.